Celtics closed out the Magic and moved on. On to the NBA's Eastern Conference semifinals. Hi, Zo.
Good morning. Congratulations. Celtics, moving on. We knew they were going to move on. I had them in 5.
Okay.
That was ugly.
They got out of it in 5.
That was ugly.
It was ugly.
By many things. Just the black uniforms, too. Those ones drive me nuts. The delay on the game.
That was the big takeaway.
Yeah, for sure.
Why did we start the game so late? Why was it starting so late?
Because it was the doubleheader on NBA.
Oh, I don't give an ass. I can give 2 asses about it. There's multiple stations to put games on. And then I sit there and I flip over to NBA TV. Oh, for contractual rights, this is out in your area. Oh, thanks. Now I got to go back to the local broadcast.
So if you didn't have that package that doesn't include NESN and NBC Sports Boston, did you not watch that game?
Oh, I had it. I watched it.
No, I'm asking for people out there.
Oh, you don't get it then, yeah.
That other tier?
That's a good
Great
point. Yeah, well.
Welcome to the new hell of how you view sports. Yes. Yeah. T-Bone's right. You wouldn't watch that game.
Yeah, I guess you didn't get it. I didn't even check over there because there was another game on just prior to tip. Was it the
Bucks Pacers?
The Pacers game.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
had a
like
wild
if you were a
finish.
big enough fan, or if, like you say, worked in sports media, you'd find a way to watch the game. So it's not an issue.
I would probably agree with that. But anyway, outside of the uniforms that Zoe didn't like and the late start time that you didn't like, what did you like about last night?
That they actually woke up in the freaking third quarter. And one of the reasons was Jayson Tatum again. And Tatum hits the big shot, finally hit the first big 3 to sort of get the thing going. And they found a way to just continue to scrap, and it took over that game, get him into foul trouble. All he had to do was freaking drive, and they were going to call every foul last night, it seemed. Any little sliver of contact, Tony Brothers is going to call the foul. Anybody on it. And Scout kept going to it, too, and he's like, oh, that's not a foul. But then you look at it, and he's like, oh, 9 out of 10 times. Anytime there's a body connected to it and you're going for the shot, they're going to call that in this league. I didn't think 3 of the fouls were fouls. But good that they did it because this game got over with early. Thank God. Because it was a slog for about 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, physicality obviously was a big part of this series for sure. But my takeaway is we came into the postseason talking about Jayson Tatum and this being the postseason of Jayson Tatum. Misses a game because of a wrist injury. We're all freaking out. And he followed that up with 36-9, 37-14, and 35-8.
It's pretty good.
Maybe the wrist one bad.
It's pretty good. He's a pretty good player.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
And
was the wrist that bad?
those performances would tell you the wrist was not all that injured, was it? The wrist seems to be okay. So
maybe they thought they could win without him. Let's give him a little rest here.
maybe.
Doesn't the Get Up game seem like it was a million years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That happens
Because
in these NBA playoffs. They barely play any games.
He doesn't sit. Like, he's a guy, to his credit, to Tatum's credit, he wants to play every day. You know? Maybe like, hey. You know?
Well, the big thing that I think we've already talked about from this series was something that came up again last night, and that is the inability to hit threes. Not a single 3 in the first half.
Or attempt them, really.
They didn't even attempt one for the majority of the second quarter in this game. And when you talk about that third quarter...
Yeah, that Al's the one that's hitting him. Like, Jesus.
I mean, the stunning part of that third quarter was the Magic inability to land shots.
Oh.
I mean, that was insane. I mean, that was historic levels of very poor basketball being played by the Magic offensively in that quarter. That was stunning. Right before the Celtics went on the run, we were chatting. I'm like, this is so bad. This is such bad basketball. This is terrible. But the story, again, the Celtics shooting fewer threes in this series, finding ways to win. The Celtics getting to a point last night where they weren't even attempting threes for much of this game. And that is a very different look for this team.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is sustainable if they're against a team that can do anything offensively.
What was it when Sam Cassell was?
I don't think they can continue to win the way that they did in this series, is my point.
And I think that the staff and Sam Cassell and them are going to take this and look at it like it's such a rogue type obscure number that this doesn't show you any consistencies or trends when you get into the analytical part of it. Just a bad night shooting. Like, that's not going to continue because they are good shooters. And Jesus, even Porzingis clanged one. But credit to Brown driving. He got it going too there in that third quarter, drawing the fouls, getting to the line. I didn't think this was as physical game as the four prior. Yeah, I thought maybe potentially you could have a dust up here too, and it never came to be. And even Scal and Carter were like, "This is bad. This is bad basketball for a playoff game." Both teams struggling to score. It was a yuck game, but they advanced. You either play the Pistons or the Knicks now. Pistons and Knicks.
And the Knicks are making it hard on themselves, and that's terrific news
You said it yesterday.
for the Celtics.
You said it yesterday.
That is good news for them.
Yep.
That series is now extended. So the late start is hopefully going to be earlier for you next week.
My God, give me 8:15, 8:30. It's 8:45, and I'm still watching this damn pregame show. How many times can you put Eddie House up there and company and we this and we got this next and this and we? Then boy, they got to stop the wheeze. They got to stop the wheeze.
Oh, I don't
Scal's
think
doing it too.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen. It's in the vocab. It's in it. It's part of it. At least Kayla doesn't do it.
As far as the physicality of this series, the Celtics post-game last night, in hearing some of the things that players were saying about this series, there's some level of pride in that they came out of this series after dealing with, I guess, the physical nature of it. That's the way it sounded to me.
Okay.
And if there's one thing to take away that I think is helpful is, one, it got over in 5. They got out of this thing.
Yes.
Good. It's over with. But now they're going to kind of wear it like a badge of honor. Right? Okay.
Well, how about expect it?
Listen, I thought Jaylen Brown said after the game, he said something along the lines of much respect to the Orlando
Play
Magic.
hard. Yep.
Right?
Orlando did a good job of trying to make us play a different style of ball. And I think we had adjusted to that well. I think going into the playoffs, everybody was concerned with our three-point shooting. They wanted to take away our three-point shooting, or do we shoot too many threes? Can we win games? And I think we didn't shoot a lot of threes in this whole entire series, and we had to still, win games in the trenches. So I think it was a great challenge for us, and I think that it's a great step for us moving forward, and a series that we can learn from.
Yeah, he had also said much respect to those guys related to the physicality, not the three-point stuff.
Tough team.
But that to me is important here, that they came out of this. Yes, Tatum did miss that one game with the wrist thing, but they survived this. They can now wear that as a badge of honor in saying, listen, you come at us. You want to play that way, play that way. We're going to find ways to win. This is not how they want to win. This is not how they wanted to go about doing it in this series.
No, it's not. But I think it's important that they do that, by the way, because you see it across whether it's the Timberwolves head coach, whether it's Chet Holmgren talking about the physicality in this postseason. Mark Cuban's even mentioned it now recently. These playoffs are being officiated a lot differently than the regular season. And so I do think there has to be an adjustment and an understanding here moving forward that you're going to run up against, it might not be the Knicks, but you're going to run up against another team that's going to be physical with you, and you have to be able to kind of meet that moment. Right now.
It was after game 2, I think, when Brown referenced the refs. They're like, hey, they're officiating it this way, and if this continues, man, that might be in a fight. And that's when that fight comment came out. But that's trying to send the message, all right, are you really going to call it this way? And maybe they will. I like this style of basketball. I do. I think it's more entertaining.
Okay, but I would just say that the other side of this coin is if I'm another team and I'm getting ready to play the Celtics, I'm going to play them exactly the way the Magic did. I'm going to try and force the Celtics to take fewer threes because that's how you're going to get wins against the Celtics. And that's how you're going to extend series. That's how you're going to do it.
Play a bunch of guys, get some fouls.
The Magic had a good plan.
Yeah.
They did. They had a good game plan coming into this thing.
They knew they weren't going to win. Yeah, but they're like, what can we do to muddy it up?
I mean, they made it difficult. So I would play the Celtics the same way the Magic.
Were you nervous at all last night?
About what?
Them losing that game.
Sure, they were down 9 in the first half.
Yeah, I think it was 9, but then it got to 2 at the half. But then you're like, okay. And then they started going a little bit of a run. Okay, this thing's over. But yeah, you hesitated in that first half a little bit. It made you think again. You didn't do that last year. You really didn't.
No, and that would have been a brutal loss, man. An extra trip to Orlando to close this out.
Oh.
Yeah, come on.
Well, then you're playing with, holy crap, what if they win? You got a closeout game at home? Come on. Round 1. It'd be a disaster.
So Celtics reaction to them moving on. 617-779-0985. It's not the most exciting thing. This was expected. This is obviously the expected result in the first round of the NBA playoffs, where there are very few upsets.
The tone of the broadcast too, like a lot of little jokes in between with Scal and Carter. They were easy, like not worried about this game.
They shouldn't have been.
Didn't feel like a big
once
time,
you got to the start of the fourth quarter, the thing was over.
yeah, but didn't feel like a big time playoff game. It didn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't tell you it was.
Okay.
I wouldn't tell you this was a big time playoff series or there were any big time games in
First
there.
round shouldn't be when you're a top seed.
Yeah, when you're the defending champion and you're expected to win it all again. I don't know if the first round's really going to get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
But I think it kind of did for the Celtics a little bit.
That's good.
More than you would expect.
yeah.
So I think that there's something to take away from that. But I also think the Magic are showing you how to try and make things more difficult for them, limit their threes. And if the Magic were just, 5% better, it didn't suck as much offensively as they did at periods in this series, it may have become a series. Tatum believes this is the most relaxed that he's sort of been in the playoffs, that he's kind of feeling it right now.
About time.
Well, what do you mean about time?
How many times you've been in the playoffs and it's in a spot? Round one, you're the defending champ.
Steve Kerr over here.
You've hit your stride. You're pretty much the MVP. You better feel relaxed. You're not challenged. Anybody get in his face or put him down yet? No. You should feel relaxed.
Doesn't something feel different about Tatum
Yes.
in terms of how he's played this year
Yes.
and where he's at right now?
Even the smirks when he get that push in the back, he just turns and smiles like, he's effing with me. I get it. Not like, maybe like 2 years ago, he's like, ooh, I'm getting pushed around. What do I do? No. Looks like a different player. I'm with you. Like, he's matured.
Oh, okay. So now you do agree.
No, I have all year. What are you talking about?
There's something different.
Yes,
There's
this year.
something different about the way, the way he carries himself, and obviously his level of play has never been better. He's never been better than he's been
I think
this season.
winning last year's helped him, and I just think he's just sick and tired of hearing it. At some point, just move on, go play. And I just think he likes to go play and play well.
Well, that's what I
Like,
think
that
he's
shuts people
decided
up.
to do.
Yeah.
He his quote was that I said this season was the most relaxed and carefree that I've been in my career. Understanding that we won last year and we accomplished the ultimate goal, you kind of got that monkey off your back.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He doesn't have that thing gone.
Not yet.
Because he still has doubters, and he still has people that will tell you that it doesn't matter until he becomes the NBA Finals MVP or he becomes the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, that he's still in some way living in the shadow of a big-time performer, in a big-game performer like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
So he might say, hey, the team winning is the most important, and to have that gives you the ability to be carefree. I don't know that he's got that thing gone, but maybe this is the best approach for him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think about that stuff. I'm just going to go out and play. Right. And that to me is what Jaylen Brown does.
Yes.
And that's why Jaylen Brown has had the success in the past that he's had. So I'm just telling you, I think you're about to see, this is, as you said, supposed to be the run of Tatum. You're about to see the run of Tatum.
Good.
It's arrived. He's
Good.
arrived.
He's responded. Good. And I got nervous about it and thinking it's not going to happen with him sitting out with the wrist. But look how he's responded since the wrist. It's on. It's on. Step one, down. Get on to round two. He needs 3 of these. Do what Jaylen did last year and then win the finals MVP. And he'll be good. He'll be christened. It's like David Price. I hold the cards. But he needs that. He does. Because I do think he does appreciate the individual stuff. As much as he has to say, well, it's all about the team. It's more important if the team wins. And you remember him hoisting that trophy, 55 points at the All-Star game? That stuff's important to these guys. It's a different sport.
I just think for the team in general, too, this is an opportunity where, you get knocked last year because the path is so easy, right? And, look at that. Look, easiest path to a championship that we've seen in the NBA. You're going to have to potentially go through New York here coming up, who had a huge offseason, was sort of the story of the NBA or one of the stories of the NBA going into it. Then you're taking on the 1 seed in Cleveland, and then you're going to take on a legit team in the Western Conference. And so if he can actually string together here MVP-like performances and have a series like he just had in Orlando and some of these high-profile series moving forward, I think that completely changes
on a
the
national stage.
narrative
Yeah.
for his career moving forward. Absolutely.
He's got an opportunity in front of him. He just seems primed to do it, to be able to put the doubters, the Zoes of the world, to quiet them down, the Jaylen Brown guys of the world.
I need to see it.
Always demanding more.
I don't just hand it to you. I
From
like to
Jayson
acknowledge
Tatum.
it. Like,
Yeah.
right. Well, appreciation for that. Yeah.